Shoot to Loot is a very dogshit perk on its own, but because of a lesser known interaction with explosive payload, it was briefly very good during Season of the Haunted. Most people would use it with Storm Chaser because Storm Chaser was bugged and didn't count as an LFR for some reason, and so scav mods and finder mods, which already are not very effective when you're using a heavy LFR, weren't working for it at all. So people would use explosive payload and shoot to loot, and the way that those two perks worked together was it would count as shooting 2 separate bricks as opposed to shooting just one, because the delayed payload would end up hitting the brick as well, and so you would get 2 bricks worth of heavy ammo or special ammo depending on what kind of brick you shot. I guess Bungie thought that this made the perk a little too useful, and so at the start of Season of the Plunder, they decided to make that interaction stop working, which is extremely unfortunate because that was the only way anybody was really considering using this perk, as it occupies the same slot, on most weapons at least, as things like autoloading holster or outlaw, or just other consistency perks that people generally like using on their weapons, as opposed to something that's only useful if you're doing Exodus Crash or Scarlet Keep. There's really no other reason to use this, and even then, you don't need it for those GMs. It's just if you're going in the rat spots up top. And to add insult to injury, Bungie decided to nerf this combination on top of adding in a new seasonal scout rifle that is craftable with that same perk combination. And you can use an upgrade at the star chart in the helm to make it so that you can get multiple perks on your weapons. So you could have the option of switching from explosive payload to volt shot. So you can have a volt shot and shoot to loot explosive payload scout rifle. Except you don't need that anymore because you can just auto dismantle any weapon that has shoot to loot on it, since there's no way to make it a good or useful perk. So if you were holding on to any of these weapons in your vault, make sure you get rid of them, because Bungie does not want you to use this perk for whatever reason. Also, I know my content's been lacking a bit lately. This season has just been terrible. It's not worse than last season, but it is definitely really frustrating going from probably the worst season the game has had since Worthy to just a really lackluster and boring season where the highlight just ended up being the Fortnite collaboration, the Battle Bus and the Elixir Quarter, and a raid from Destiny 1 being brought back. There's really no reason to play PvP when they just keep punishing people for getting better at the game, so it's been a little bit annoying to try and make content with all these changes and just wanting to play an actually fun game instead, so I don't know, I think I'm just getting burnt out. But I've got a video on 72 RPM snipers and comparing and contrasting them coming out hopefully later this week, so I will catch you guys later.